Now I'm really happy that I got a lot of positive reception and reactions for the video talking about what if Metroids are Pokemon. Combining two of my favorite franchises of all time together to see what kind of stats, types, and abilities that Metroid would have in Pokemon, it was a really fun thing to do. So I thought it'd be pretty cool to continue this series of Poketroid or whatever I'm going to call it and see what kind of a Pokemon Crocomire would be. You know, stats, types, abilities, so on and so forth. So with that being said, let's cue up that video and roll out that intro. Now finding Crocomire's evolutionary chain is pretty simple. He won't have any evolutions or pre-evolutions. His only appearance is in Super Metroid and that's it. In the Pokemon games, there's a ton of Pokemon with no evolutionary chain, so having Crocomire with no evolution is completely fine in the world of Pokemon, and that's really all we really need. Now finding Crocomire's main type is actually pretty simple to find out. When we look at Crocomire's name, which seems to be a combination of two words, crocodile because it looks like one, and mire, which is just swampy or marshy land, combined out with the fact that we see Crocomire tunneling through Norfair as opposed to having his own dedicated arena and appearing to have claws for digging, it's safe to say that Crocomire is a ground type. Although I'm gonna be honest, I doubt Crocomire is a pure ground type. His weakness to extreme heat isn't really something pure ground types are known for, and combined out with his extremely high defense, making him steel type just fits with his abilities and weakness. Taking a ton of missiles, super missiles, beam weapons, and power bombs with no real damage, but dying to the extreme heat, that kinda sounds like a steel type Pokemon to me. So the idea is to make Crocomire a ground steel type. Now if the idea of Crocomire being a ground steel type, we gotta give Crocomire moves that reflect his ability in game while at the same time reflecting his typeset. With his ground type, we can give Crocomire moves like Dig or Earth Power or even Earthquake to reflect his digging abilities. Bulldozer, Mud Ball, and Spikes would also fit in too. As a little cruel joke, let's add Fissure into the moveset to reflect how Crocomire can break open the very ground that caused his death. Huh. I mean, it's a one-hit KO and it's a pretty cool move regardless. Steel type can also give Crocomire moves like Heavy Slam, Iron Head, and even Metal Claw. Metal Sound too, because his screech is pretty harsh, and it atomize to reflect his occasional increase in speed. I kinda see Crocomire as a wall also, so he'll need some sustainability and buffs. Stockpile would work as a good way to increase his defense and allow him to use moves like Swallow and Spit Up, which heal and damage respectively. Also Hone Claw and Amnesia to make sure he's not going down really easily. Aside from his body, his main form of attack is actually involving his claws. So Scratch, Slash, Fury Swipe, False Swipe, and again, Iron Claw would make sense. As well as Crocomire having a spitting like projectile, so Belch, Gunk Shot, Energy Ball, Ember, and even Bubble would add some variety when it comes to typing. But the general idea is to focus on ground steel type moves, with supportive moves to help increase and restore his defense and health to deal with the damage like it never even happened. Now trying to find abilities that suited Crocomire was a little bit difficult at first. At first I wanted to give him the ability Aftermath, which I thought would be pretty cool to reflect how his bones would attack you after he's been defeated. However, upon some further research, I learned that Aftermath was an explosion, and that's different than just melting. But then all of a sudden, it hit me. Crocomire's main physical feature is that he has damaged skin, right? It appears to be scarred and damaged, so making his first ability Rough Skin seems natural. Rough Skin damages any Pokemon who would make physical contact, and it seems to fit in game since Crocomire is always pushing himself on you, and upon touching you, he does damage. And going along with the theme of skin abilities, Crocomire can have the Dry Skin as a second ability. With Crocomire's skin looking damaged, it's safe to say that it's sensitive, so extreme sunlight would damage him, while at the same time soothing drizzle would just heal him. And this also aligns with his weakness to extreme heat, since we do see that the extreme heat or the lava would actually melt his skin, but then again, what creature wouldn't have its skin melting if it was in lava? But that's beside the point. Also, I don't really see any abilities that can fit as a hidden ability, but honestly, that's alright. Not every Pokemon really needs a hidden ability, and having two skin abilities does fit a lot with Crocomire, and I think that's all that's really needed. Now I'm going to try to make Crocomire as balanced as possible when it comes to the stats. I don't want to make it too overpowered like I did with the Metroids, because I'm not the best with the meta, but here we go. Crocomire can tank up a lot of damage, but his attack is relatively weak in comparison, because let's be honest, Crocomire can take a lot of missiles, super missiles, and power bombs, but his main form of attack is just scratching at the ground, throwing an occasional projectile, and pushing you against a wall full of spikes. Add that with the fact that ground and steel types are normally known for their defense. I propose that Crocomire should have stats that represent him being a defensive wall. He would take damage with no issue trying to stall out his opponents, as they waste all their time trying to do damage to him. So his stats would be 70 HP, 70 attack, 110 defense, 75 special attack, 105 special defense, 60 speed, which would all total around 460 points. This total is around the average stat of all ground types and all steel types, and there's a huge focus on defense because he can absorb a lot of hits, but his speed isn't really the best and his attacks are kinda meh. So even though he would be a huge wall, sweepers can easily maneuver around Crocomar's bulky defense and probably take him out before he stalls too much. I got a couple little miscellaneous things just to add in before we end the video. Crocomar would be considered a mildly rare Pokemon. He's not really significant enough in the story of Super Metroid to be considered a legendary Pokemon or a mythical Pokemon. He's not even strong enough to be a pseudo-legendary, or even a semi-pseudo-legendary. He's just a mini-boss that randomly came across Samus during her adventure, so he's just a mildly rare Pokemon. And he would also be found in areas like caverns, near volcanoes and stuff like that. Also, for his shiny form, it would be pretty cool to make Crocomar's shiny form ivory white. You know, to help pay tribute to his iconic bony remains.
No, don't listen to him. He's full of lies. He doesn't know what he's talking about because he isn't Crocomar. I am Crocomar. So naturally, I know the most accurate information to what if I was a Pokemon. First of all, I would be a fire type because I am red, like most fire types. But also, I live at Norfair, where there are lots of fiery things.
Hey, wait. Didn't you die when you fell in lava that one time?
Well, if I am dead, then how can I be talking to you right now?
You do know that I'm a ghost, right?
Anyways, little does that liar trainer know that I can actually evolve into Meta Crocomar, as seen in my super secret amazing boss fight in Metroid Prime 3!
Wait, what secret boss fight?
Don't question me! As for my attacks, I have my super convenient swipey attack, the invincible Croco Shuffle, the Ultra Super Omega Turbo Fantastic Fire Tackle, and my most powerful attack ever, the Yay! 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 My special ability is that as soon as I enter battle, everybody becomes my friend, and I automatically win!
What if you have to face against Samus?
Then she just explodes from seeing how cool and scary I am. But not that it matters anyways, because I would have the highest stats of any Pokemon ever, with 999, which would put me on a tier list all of my own, called the Super Ultra Exclusive Croco tier, because I'm the greatest space pirate ever, after Ridley. Not to mention, I would also be the rarest Pokemon ever, and have the status of Super Omega Legendary Rare, because I only appear in one game, like most legendaries tend to do.
Wait, didn't you say you also show up in Metroid Prime 3?
Crocomar, you now interrupt other people's channels as well?
Oh no! I've been had! You'll never take me alive! Yay!
I will just go straight away now. Woo!
Well, sorry about that. I'll just let you finish your video then.
It's alright, I was already done with the video anyways. What do you guys think? Do you agree with what I gotta say about Crocomar's possible stats, types, abilities, movesets, so on and so forth? Maybe you have your own opinion over what you think Crocomar's stats, types, movesets, all that should be. Or maybe for whatever reason you agree with whatever Crocomar has to say. Cause honestly, even though it's pretty crazy, it's also pretty funny. Speaking of that Crocomar a bit though, if you actually enjoyed what you saw a couple of moments ago, feel free to click on the Orpheon's channel up above. Links to his YouTube and Twitter in the description, comment section, and all that sort of stuff. He created this amazing little bit, and honestly it came out pretty amazing. So please feel free to check out his channel. He does a lot of Metroid videos. From what I've heard, he wants to do Nier Automata and Xenoblade Chronicle videos, and honestly he's a pretty good Metroid YouTuber, so if you enjoy my kind of content, you're for sure gonna love what he does. Also, if you like Metroid content and you like what you saw with this Poketroid like video, feel free to click on the video above, which will lead you to a video where I talk about what kind of a Pokemon Metroids would be. You know, types, stats, movesets, so on and so forth. That being said, I'm the Metroid Trainer. Hope you like, favorite, and subscribe, and stick around for next time, because I'll be seeing you next time.